interrupt your regular broadcast to bring you this important news bulletin.
Welcome to Cross Country Checkup. I'm Rex Murphy. Our question today, you guessed it, what's your reaction to the election results? 1-888-416-8333. Your response to the most dramatic election probably in a generation. 1-888-416-8333. Charles, write down Raucous Caucus for me, will you? Our next caller is from Nepean, Ontario, Gwydion Plumstead. Gwydion, welcome to the program.
Hello, Rex. We're very Tory blue here in our riding.
Have you always been Tory blue where you are?
Well, for most of the past 25 years.
Well,
it's John Baird's riding in Nepean Carleton, and I went to the victory celebration for the supporters at the Villa Marconi, and I just thought maybe you'd like to hear some of the gossip.
Yeah, I would like to hear it, but before we even get to there, I should know these things, but I don't. What was Mr. Baird's majority? Okay, you're making the call, so you pick the strands that you want to unfold.
Well, what I heard being talked about that evening, there is an environmental scientist that lives down my street, a Sikh immigrant, very knowledgeable about these matters. I was speaking with him and a few other people, and they're very happy that with the Conservative majority, we can now finally get into an economic way of handling the global warming issue. As you know, of course, Jack Layton's cap and trade business was so, absolutely full of corruption and, a complete, burden on the economy.
Well, I wouldn't say it was Layton, but I will say that from my own reading, the imposition of cap and trade in various other places
in Europe,
the whole idea of carbon markets is mildly speaking either a mess or a disaster.
Absolutely. It is rife with bureaucratic inefficiencies and, of course, insider dealing and trading, and it's just a way for financial companies to make money off the back of the taxpayer. And thank goodness that Stephen Harper is an economist, and his writ in life is to get the biggest bang for your buck, given scarcity of inputs. As far as
Gwydion, because you're calling from a stalwart conservative riding, what was it like, if you don't mind? I'm going back a little bit, but what were the impressions from the loyal conservative supporters when they saw Mr. Harper finally getting the breakthrough in Ontario, which is the other really big story, that the Conservatives now have such a large number of Ontario seats. What was it like? What were they saying the night of the election, that, the breakthrough was there?
Well, yeah, that we have finally an alliance between the West and Ontario. And unfortunately, Quebec is on the outs again. But as far as getting through these major programs that make sense for the country, that was the general mood. That a lot of people, of course, small business supporters like the low-tax regime. But as far as the environmental issue, I want to get back to that. It's going to be finally possible for the government to begin to introduce debate about geo-engineering proposals, which means that we go into that mode of thought where we try to actually change the very nature of the atmosphere by perhaps injecting aerosols or increasing carbon uptake by the plankton in the oceans, because scientists are saying that is the only way now to mitigate
So with a majority, they'll have the nerve to do certain things.
They'll have the nerve to do that.
Outside of that field, is there any other comment you have on the new facts of Canadian politics?
Going to be finally possible for the government to begin to introduce debate about the geo-engineering proposals, which means that we go into that mode of thought where we try to actually change the very nature of the atmosphere by perhaps injecting aerosols or increasing carbon uptake by the plankton in the oceans, because scientists are saying that is the only way now to mitigate
So with a majority, they'll have the nerve to do certain things.
They'll have the nerve to do that.
Outside of that field, is there any other comment you have on the new facts of Canadian politics?